Hello, Willowbrook family. Today's daily devo is found in Matthew chapter 26, verses 14 through 19. This is one of the busiest times of the year because there's so much preparation for everything. All the preparing you did for Thanksgiving, and Christmas is just around the corner. You need a vacation to get over your vacation. This section of scripture today shows us two very different preparations in a very clear way. One is very good and the other is terribly evil. In the first three verses, we see into the motives of Judas. Judas approaches the chief priests and says, "What are you willing to give me to betray Jesus?" This shows us that the plot of Judas was premeditated. No one manipulated him or talked him into it. The chief priest weighed out 30 pieces of silver. Now, 30 pieces of silver was the price of a slave in those days. And you can find that in Exodus 21. After the chief priests made their offer, Judas went to work, waiting for his chance. Not only was he preparing to betray Jesus, but he was also preparing to be served to receive his big payday. Then, right after this, Scripture mentions a totally different type of preparation, completely opposite. Jesus is preparing for the Last Supper with his disciples. Jesus tells some of his disciples, "Go into the city to a certain man." Because of the accounts of Mark and Luke, we know that Jesus sent Peter and John only. We also find out that they are looking for a man carrying a jar of water. Now, what's so big about that? Well, in those days, only women carried water. So a man carrying water would really stick out. The man was probably a servant of whoever owned the house with the upper room. Jesus had evidently made these arrangements in secret to prevent Judas from disclosing their location to the chief priests. You see, Judas might use that information to have Jesus arrested then and there, and it's not quite his time for that. Jesus was in full control of all the details and timing of his own crucifixion. He prepared all this with exact detail because of his love for us. Unlike Judas, Jesus was preparing to serve, not to be served. It's interesting when you compare the two. Judas prepares to be served and to get a good payday. Jesus prepares to serve and to pay the ultimate price for us. So, back to this really busy time of year. Where is your time and preparation going? Is it to be served or is it to serve? It's important not to get those two reversed. As we prepare for Christmas, remember we are preparing to honor the birth of our King, who was despised and rejected by men and who gave his life as a ransom for all. Have a great day in the Lord, Willowbrook.